there, and the action continues with the men's run, swim, run, and we're going to see some fast and furious action here from the big boys. Taking a look at the start list, we go through a couple of names we're very familiar with here in the Summer of Surf: Charlie Brooks and Josh Brown. Jack, Thomas Dowling, the overall winner of the surf race last year in the Summer of Surf. He'd have to be one to watch if he can run.
Yeah, certainly. And we might see Thomas struggle a bit, I think, across the sand and through the wade, but he may pull them back with his work in the water.
It's about balance here. You've got to be able to run, you've got to be able to swim, and it's an endurance event. The boys are away early. A couple of young guns in this one to watch out for. Matty Palmer from just down the road at Maroochydore, the under-15 Australian surf race champion. He'll certainly be one who tries to make a move out in the water, but across the sand they go and across that bank. And how much is wading going to come into play as the day goes on?
Well, the wading really allows these guys to set their race up from the very beginning. Those guys that have done the work, that are strong on the legs, are going to have the biggest advantage.
You don't want to be coming from behind and being forced to swim around the field. It looks like Charlie Brooks, the under-17 Australian Ironman champion, in the centre of your screen from the Newport Club, is leading us out at the moment, but he's just been joined by a few of the Northcliffe competitors as well as they make their way out to sea. Down the bottom of your screen there, that's Jay Finesse, our overall Ironman champion last summer. Uses the swim to his advantage. We saw him have a little bit of trouble on the board in Redhead. I'm sure he won't make the same mistake twice here today. But out in front, looks like Nick Green there from Northcliffe has hit the lead.
Well, Nick Green's a former Alex competitor, so he should know this beach well. He's also finished first in the under-17 belt race at the Australian titles, a race where you have to get to the can faster than your rivals, working that wade. We should see him off the beach here fast.
You have to drag that big, heavy belt all the way out, so he'll be a big, strong swimmer. But from nowhere, Dan Collins, the redhead competitor, is out in front, first to the cans, and he showed an absolute clean set of heels so far. He's a star of the future, isn't he, Jack?
Dan Collins is our World Junior Surf Race and Ironman champion. He is a star of the future and someone that no doubt we're going to see featured throughout the rest of this Summer of Surf.
He's certainly going to have the endurance element there to be able to hold on, and I think being an Ironman will help him on the transitions as well. So he's a great swimmer. In behind him, it looks like Ethan Clouston there from the Currumbin Club. Josh Brown's in the mix as well. Charlie Brooks and Jay Finesse. So as they make their way home, the waves start to lift. Will we see another jag like we see in the women's race to really shake things up? Out in front, Dan Collins pushing. We see the ratings start to lift. The men's field seem to have spread out just a little bit more than the women's field, Jack. What's the thought process there for these guys? Is it trying to find their own wave?
There's probably a lot more speed off that front end, Josh, and the women's field was a little bit smaller, making it a little bit easier to try and hang on to that wash. The boys are trying to work now down these little waves. As one builds out the back, we might see someone get down this.
It looks like Ollie Signorini from Newport's moved into second place there, and he'll push down a wave with Dan Collins. So it's Signorini and Collins down a wave out in front. It's a race in two. The rest of the field's on this one. Matt Palmer from Maroochydore there, Ethan Clouston, Josh Brown as well. The rest of the field looks for a wave, but they might have left it too late. Signorini is up and away. He's training partners with some of the best Ironmen in the business, so you know he's going to be able to run. It looks like he's going to pick this one up. It's over for these guys. They're too far behind. They won't be able to catch up. But as he works his way around, Ollie Signorini will take out the first men's event. Put your hands together for him because he has had a great swim there. Dan Collins, valiant in second place, led the entire way, only to come undone. Jay Finesse in third. Ethan Clouston, Josh Brown, the Currumbin boys in 5 and 6, and Matty Palmer in the top 7. Taking a look at our results there, Ollie Signorini kicks us off with a great start for the Sydney Northern Beaches. Manly in the women's, Newport in the men's. We head further down the page. Nick Green got off to a flyer but fell back during the race. All the way down to Jack Hornibrook and Jai Sheridan, the Northcliffe duo. They round us out. Taking a look at the overall point score, a third place from Jay Finesse was enough to push him into the lead. Ahead of the young gun, Ethan Clouston from Currumbin, a win got Ollie Signorini into third. And just like the women's race, these guys are still close enough, if they're good enough there, with 5 rounds of the Summer of Surf Run, Swim, Run.